Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Commissioner Cave. It's 9 o'clock, a little bored. I decided I wanted to do a little video because there's nothing worse than starting 0-1 in fantasy. It sucks. You deal with it all week. You're trying to avoid the dreaded 0-2. So we're going to talk panic. I'm going to look at the 7 teams that took L's in week 1 and see who needs to panic and see who is just fine and dandy, caught a bad week, caught a tough opponent. So we're going to start from the top. I'm going to go from highest scoring to lowest scoring, and you're going to get a panic grade from me after I kind of look through your team and see what happened. We'll start with the hard hitters. The once proud organization falls to Kipper, but he did score 122 points. That would have beat almost everyone in the league. So a little bit of bad luck for John. I think scoring 122 points and only getting 5 from Nico is pretty encouraging. I think Garrett Wilson is certainly a surprise here. I think the whole Jets offense was a surprise, and it looks like that could be a steal. Mahomes looked okay. I do wonder about their receivers with Worthy out now. Good defense. I think DeAndre Swift did not inspire a lot of confidence last night. The whole Bears organization did not inspire a lot of confidence. Bucky 14-5, really solid. I think Bucky's going to be a really good player. And James Cook 21 points, ho hum. He almost had another touchdown, got tackled at the inch line. I think John's going to be just fine. I put his panic meter at, we're going to call it a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. John's fine. 122 points. I do think Nico is a little concerning. Houston's defense is really good, and it's becoming their identity. It hurts C.J. Stroud. It hurts Nico. And, there's no other assets there that really are valuable at this moment. I just worry you're going to get a lot of 14-9 games, and I think Nico was probably a little mispriced in that top echelon receiver. So some good, some bad, but John, I think you have to worry about Nico, but overall you don't have to worry about your team that much, I don't think. Moving on, the Teflon Don scored 107 points last week. I took Teflon down with 125. Wasn't particularly close. Didn't really even have me sweating. Latif, I think you have a little bit of issues here. I think Brian Thomas Jr., he'll be fine, I think. But he did most of his production with Mac Jones last year. And Travis Hunter's not going anywhere. Travis Etienne is just an absolute bell cow, probably league winner, maybe MVP candidate at this point. Cooper Kupp, I just think is totally cooked. JSN at 51% target share. Tat McMillan looked okay, but the Panthers looked like shit. And Caleb had 22 points, but he did most of that on the ground. Anyone who watched that game with 2 eyeballs saw that he looked like the same old Caleb we saw last year. He was late on every throw, throwing balls into the fucking first row. Latif, I'm going to put you at a 4 out of 10. I think there's concerns on this team. I think McCaffrey is your real bright spot. He looked really good, but it's just a matter of time before he goes down. It's like every San Francisco player, they just seem to be cursed with the injury bug. So he looked good. He was a bell cow. Kyron just with kind of a middling performance. Yeah, Latif, I'm a little worried. I think the panic button, keep it close. We're not hitting it yet, but let's keep it on the table. All right, Jibby Johns, the once proud Jibby Johns. Man, where have we gone wrong, Jibby Johns? Falls to 0-1. I think he played Clifford, who close game, 108-104. A real egg out of Terry McLaurin. Makes me wonder, is Debo going to have more of a role there? Because he seemed to be kind of the guy in Washington, at least in week one. I'm sure McLaurin will be fine. CeeDee Lamb had 18 points and dropped like 4 long-ass balls. Like, he could have had 200 yards in that game. Travion with 11 points. I think that's encouraging. Kincaid and Shakir, Kincaid, I don't know. He, had a touchdown, but you keep expecting more like a splash week every once in a while. And, like, I think that's like his ceiling is like 12, 14 points if he scores a touchdown. Shakir should be fine. I don't think you have reason to be too concerned, Jibs. I don't love Jordan Love as your quarterback. Their defense is really good. They're probably going to want to run the ball. I don't know that he's going to give you enough volume to crack, top 8 quarterback in this league. Your bench, I think Jordan Mason could be exciting. But overall, I don't think you need to panic, Jibs. I think Travion will keep getting better. Connor will be fine. I'm going to give you a 4 out of 10. I think there's some reasons to be concerned. You need CeeDee to be an absolute monster if this team has any chance of competing with some of the best teams in the league. All right, let's move on to the releasing Doves. 0-1. Got smacked by the Lucinator, who was the high score of the week with 128. Doves had a respectable 104. Doves. I'm a little scared here. Brock Purdy's going to miss time. Sounds like maybe a week. Might be more. That's not great. There's not a whole lot of great quarterbacks out on the waiver wire. As I look at your team, as someone with Jahmyr Gibbs, like Amon-Ra only scoring 8, and they got their asses kicked by Green Bay. The interior offensive line changes for the Lions have me concerned. I think it should have every Lions, asset holder concerned. Like, if they can't run the ball, that whole system fails. And we saw clearly the other day, I think they averaged like 2.2 yards a carry. And maybe Green Bay was fired up. They got Micah in the building. Maybe their defense is that good, and the Lions just kind of came out flat, but those did not look like two teams that belonged on the same field. And I'm concerned for Gibbs. I'm concerned for Montgomery. I'm concerned for Goff. I'm concerned for Amon-Ra. Concerned for Jameson. They're home against Chicago this week. Hopefully it's a get-right game. But ultimately, if they can't run the ball and play action, their whole offense kind of crumbles. So I'm a little worried about Lions assets. And frankly, I don't love that you have both Devonta Smith and Saquon Barkley. I had Devonta last year, and it's just so frustrating in games when, the Eagles' defense is good, their run game is good, and Jalen Hurts, for as good of a leader and quarterback he is, he's not exactly a gunslinger. And with Devonta Smith, like, there's going to be weeks when he gets 5-6 targets, and he needs to make, huge plays with those numbers, and you're going to get 4-point games. Like, his floor is really, really low. I just don't love the rest of your team. I think your bench doesn't do a lot. Maybe Trey Benson could be a lottery ticket if Connor goes down. Brett, I think we're hitting the panic button, man. I think we're at a 9. You went heavy on Saquon and Amon-Ra, and if Amon-Ra falls to just, maybe a mid-low end wide receiver 1, I think we're in trouble, man. I think we're in trouble. Shit. Okay, Burnt Toast falls to 0-1. I think that was the lowest draft score I ever gave Burnt Toast, with a C+. Usually he's in the B's and the A's from me. Overall, Jackson Smith and Jigba looked fucking awesome. I've been texting Andrew all week trying to trade him for Tyler Warren because Tyler Warren looked that good. I think I just dropped Josh Downs, and a big reason is I think Tyler Warren is just going to vacuum up targets there. Drake May, again, that's kind of why I gave you shit. He got 16 points, did some stuff with his legs. I just don't know that you want to be tied to that all year. I think Michael Penix might be your starter. But your running back tandem of Brown and Janty, only combined 25 points, but I think they inspired some confidence. Jerry Jeudy, I don't love. And T. Higgins, I think that was just a weird game from Cincy. So I still, kind of question certain parts of your team, but I certainly don't think there's a panic situation. I'm going to give you a 3 out of 10. No reason to panic. 2 really good running backs. T's going to bounce back. Tyler Warren looks like he might be, the 3rd straight year of maybe a rookie tight end being tight end 1. We had Laporta, we had Bowers. I think Tyler Warren might be tight end 1 this year. So you're in good shape, man, and JSN is going to be top 8. So no need to panic here. But we do need to figure out quarterback, and Penix may be the answer. All right, the Tie Man's All-Stars also took a bit of a beating in week 1, only scoring 87 points with a couple big fails. Tyler, I think there are reasons to be concerned here. I think your bright spot was Puka and Bill Krosky, who looks like he is going to be the lead dog in Washington after a lot of hype. Looks like it might be real. I think Malik Neighbors, the fact that Russ looked so bad was kind of concerning. They still have Jameis, they still have Jackson Dart, but I think everyone was high on Neighbors because they thought his quarterback play would be so much better. But we don't really know what Dart's going to be like in the NFL. I think your RB2 and Nick Chubb and even Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker looked horrible. Charbonnet out-snapped him. Bo Nix looked really, really bad. I was looking into Bo a little bit today, and it's kind of crazy how much production of his came against really bad teams last year. I think they're going to play really good defense. But I think we may have a quarterback issue here. I don't know that I love Bo Nix going forward. I think he's going to have a lot of single-digit games for you. Ricky Pearsall looked really good, but now with Brock going down and the whole Niners team injured, who knows how that shakes out. Tyler, I'm putting you at a 7. I think there's a lot more. I think you had a lot of players with down arrows than up arrows. The one up arrow I see is Krosky Merritt, maybe Bashil Tootin, now that Tank's gone, but I still view that more as a lottery ticket to Etienne than someone that's going to crack your lineup anytime soon. So yeah, I'm a little worried, man. We got some stuff to figure out. Jimmy Tyrone, House Tyrone, came in last. It's never good to be 14th. You don't want to have to do the Hot Wings challenge. Joe Burrow laid an absolute egg. I think that's probably just an anomaly, like a Bengals start slow anomaly. But if it's the whole month of September and Burrow's stinking, and who knows what's going on there, and Kittle going on IR with a hamstring that he was in a hat by halftime. Like this is a serious hamstring injury. He's on IR. That's at least 4 weeks, but we all know with hamstrings, not only can they last longer, but the re-injury risk is mega high. Marvin Harrison showed signs of life. I gave you a little bit of love for Marv in the recap, and I do think that's pretty exciting to see him produce week 1. Breece Hall also, Jets backers and Jets investors may have hit a homer here. Not totally sure if that's sustainable. I guess we'll see. But their offense looked really good. Fields looked really good. But yeah, Jimmy, I worry about A.J. Brown, man. Like $52 for A.J. Brown. Like I'll make you a bet. I'll make you a bet right now. I bet you George Pickens outscores A.J. Brown this year. And I think, what you thought would be your stud receiver is going to be frustrating. I think the Eagles have a plan, and it's run the ball, pound the rock, play defense, and take some shots. And if they're as good as people think they're going to be, I think you might have stumbled upon a little bit of a landmine in A.J. Brown. So, Jimmy, I'm going to put you at an 8. I do think there are reasons to be concerned here. So something needs to turn right. All right, but that's all I got. Good luck to the 0-1 teams. Avoid 0-2. 0-2 is his death sentence. We don't want to get too behind 500. But those are my thoughts. Best of luck, everyone, in week 2.